respected colleagues, I rise this afternoon for and on behalf of the industrious people of Koshofe Federal Constituency in Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. I rise to move the motion on the need to enforce the provision of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. The House notes that the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 was enacted into law in a bid to ensure that the rights of disabled persons in Nigeria are safeguarded. Also note that Section 6 of the Act provides that from the commencement of the Act, there shall be a transitory period of 5 years, within which all public buildings and structures, whether immovable, movable, or automobile, which were inaccessible to persons with disabilities, shall be modified to be accessible and usable by persons with disabilities, including those on wheelchairs. The House further notes that Section 29 of the Act provides that all employers of labor in public organizations shall, as much as possible, have persons with disabilities constituting at least 5% of their employment. The House is also aware that the 5 years transitory period provided under Section 6 of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 has lapsed. Hence, the need for full implementation of the Act. The House is concerned that, like every human being, people with disabilities have fundamental human rights, and it is the duty of the government to ensure that these rights are respected, protected, and fulfilled. The prayers. The House resolves to urge Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to consider allotting 10% of appointed positions for the physically challenged persons in Nigeria. 2, the House also resolves to urge the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to direct that the Head of Service of the Federation and federal ministries, departments, and agencies of government to adhere strictly to the provisions of Section 29 of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 by providing 10% of jobs available for the physically challenged persons in Nigeria. Further urge that all relevant security agencies to commence full enforcement of the provisions of the aforesaid Act. And finally, also mandate the committees on public service matters, federal character, and legislative compliance when constituted to ensure implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues.
Any second people of Igabi Federal Constituency, Kaduna State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I also second. Thank you.
Thank you. Amendment
4, mandates the Committee on Human Rights, Disabilities, Public Service Matters, Federal Character, and Legislative Compliance to ensure implementation of this Act when it's so constituted. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
100 million persons with disabilities. My amendment would be to add that we delete anywhere we have disabled persons with the conventional word persons with disabilities. Calling a person with disability disabled would put the disability ahead of the...
Hello, Honorable Miriam. This motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. A committee, another